Today's topic, mistakes that I see new real estate investors make. I've seen this when I had my mortgage company. I see it as a realtor when I work with new investors and people who just want to buy their first rental property or something. I see a lot of the same mistakes over and over again. And so I thought maybe I should put these together in a video for you guys to save you the trouble, the heartache, the pain of making these mistakes. That's what we do here on the Retirement Mentality channel. My whole vision and goal is to change the way you think about money, the way you think about investing, the way you think about retirement. And today I'm going to do that by hopefully saving you time and energy by making mistakes that I've seen a ton of people make. I might have even made a few of these mistakes myself. So let's get into it right now. The first one that I see is getting too focused on the price and the negotiation and the art of the deal. I see it all the time where people are $2,000 or $3,000 apart and nobody's willing to budge and everybody's willing to walk away from the deal over a couple $1,000s. And it's insane because in a year or 5 or 10 years down the road, if you're buying investment properties for the long term, I see this even when people are just buying their personal house to live in and they get so caught up that they want to win the negotiation or they want to beat this guy or whatever, that they'll walk away from a deal over a couple $1,000s. And trust me, in a year from now, you're not going to remember any of this. It's not going to matter. The price of the house isn't going to matter. And if you're getting a mortgage, it's going to be pennies of how much it makes a difference in your mortgage payment. So sometimes it's better to lose this initial negotiation over price when you're buying a house, because if you have a seller who's happy, if you're the buyer and you have a seller who's happy at the beginning, you're still got to go through inspections and a bunch of other stuff. So if something comes up in an inspection, a seller's going to be more willing to make a small repair or give you a concession or leave a washer and dryer behind for you if you did the right thing in the beginning and you made the seller happy. So don't just try to beat sellers up over every single penny. It'll behoove you later in the deal if you have a happy seller in the beginning. So obviously don't overpay, but just keep this in your mind when you're negotiating and you're stuck over a couple $1,000s. It's a very common mistake that I see people make. Another mistake I see people making, there's so much information out there and there's so many YouTube channels and podcasts and websites and blogs and everything else. But the only people that get on these shows and these podcasts are the rock star real estate investors who have 500 doors. I only have 7 doors. Trust me, I'm doing pretty good. But I see these new people, they've seen all these rock star real estate investors and they think they need 100 doors or 50 doors or 500 doors in 5 years and all these different things. Those are the people that they're putting out there for you to see and to look up to and giving advice on how to invest in real estate. And I think slow and steady wins the race. I bought one house every year over the past 8 years. I sold one, but I've sold 2, maybe 9 years, 8 or 9 years. But I have 7 properties right now, 7 doors. And I reached financial independence with 5, and I'm trying to build up now. If you're into the FIRE movement, I'm just trying to get to fat FIRE. So I have $100K just coming in off my real estate investments before I pull the plug on some of my other jobs that I'm doing. But just don't focus on trying to get a certain number of doors, because if you do, you're going to make deals that are bad deals. You're going to buy properties that aren't in if you have a core idea of what kind of properties you want, you're going to try to get this number of doors and you're going to buy something that you shouldn't have bought. It's going to trip you up, and it's fine to have goals, but just don't be so laser focused that you make bad deals. The next one is one that I personally made this mistake myself, and it made me go totally broke. It's being over leveraged. Money was a lot easier to get back when I started the first time around. You could get 100% financing on pretty much everything. I did 100% financing on all of my deals. The first deal I did was a duplex. I moved into the upstairs, rented the downstairs. After 2 years, I sold it and I made $100,000 profit. That's how fast things were going up back in the good old days. So 100% financing didn't matter. We've been seeing a lot of appreciation now. The money's not so easy to get now either. So there's not a lot of 100% deals out there. And I know a lot of you are trying to kind of bootstrap together to get started, and that's fine. And getting a 3% FHA loan for your first property is a great idea. Maybe live in it for a year or 2 and then buy your second one and do another 3% down. But by the time you do 2 or 3 of these deals, you should be able to start making some money that you could save to put down on the next one. By your 3rd or 4th property, try to put at least 10% down, if not 20% down, and start putting some equity into these properties. The equity is your umbrella for the rainy day, because the rainy day always comes, and the more equity you have in your properties, the more of a ripcord you have to get out of a bad situation. If you need to sell it, you need to reduce rents, you need to do whatever you've got to do to keep from going broke like I did. So don't get over leveraged, and you'll thank me for this one down the road. It seems like using other people's money is awesome, and using debt is a great vehicle to build wealth. I did it myself. After I went broke, I had to do it. I had to bootstrap back in too. But I'm at a 50% equity position in all my properties right now because I've paid cash for 2, and I put 20% down, and then I put lots and lots of money into repairs in a couple of my properties. So just try to keep your equity position down. As soon as you can start getting some equity in your properties, do it. Another mistake that I see on the same kind of principle, there's so much information out there with the YouTubes and the blogs and the podcasts and the this and the that and everything. And there's so many calculators to calculate how much money a rental property will make, and rental income calculators and all these different tools and cap rates and cash on cash return and the 4%, 1%, 10% rules. There's so many ways to crunch the numbers. Now everybody's trying to sell their own idea that it can cause you to get analysis paralysis. You can overthink deals. You can miss deals because you're crunching the numbers, especially in a hot market, and somebody else will swoop in. You can buy deals that weren't good deals because you had all these tools at your hand. You didn't just use common sense. So pick 1 or 2 of these number crunching methods and stick to those, and use common sense, and don't get analysis paralysis. Be ready to move, but don't move too fast. I know it's kind of confusing, but after you do some deals, it'll make sense. But you've got to just get a feel for these things, and don't overcomplicate things. Don't get too far into your own head. Okay, and the last mistake that I'll go over, I don't want this to be too long of a video, so I'll just do one more. The last one, and I don't want to sound cynical, but it's trusting too many people. I don't know how many times I've had to learn this lesson in the past, and how many more times I'll probably have to learn it again. But contractors don't always do what they're going to say. Tenants don't always do what they're going to say. People in life just don't always do what they say they're going to do. And so just try to learn how contracts work. Have contracts with everybody you can. Contracts with your contractor. Contracts with your tenants. Put everything in writing. If they have a microwave in their house and it breaks, they're going to want you to replace it, because then they had the house that had a microwave and you had no intentions of replacing microwaves. You're just doing them a favor because the last tenant left it there. So these are all the little kind of nuanced things you're going to have to learn, that you're going to have to put as many of these things into writing as you can, or they're going to come out of your pocket. So I believe there's good in everyone, and I'm going to continue to trust people, but you got to have in the back of your mind, what if they don't do what they say they're going to do? I always say, if everyone just did what they say they're going to do, the world would just be rainbows and unicorns and everything would work properly. But unfortunately, that's not the case. So just learn that if it's not in writing, it's probably not going to happen, and try to just look for the good in people, but don't expect them to do everything they're going to say. I guess I'll just leave it at that. And at that, if you found any value in this video, I hope you'll hit the thumbs up button for me down there. Just shatter that like button down there for me. Somebody just commented that in my last video, so I said I'd use it in this video. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, consider doing that. Hit that subscribe button down there, because I'll put out more of this good content. If you can support me, then I in turn shall continue to provide you with these wonderful videos. Thank you for watching this one, and I'll see you in the next one.